We're following breaking news out of Moorhead this Monday morning, where police are trying to sort through what started as a reported armed robbery.
But the commotion in one neighborhood earlier this morning may turn out to be something different than what police first thought. The Valley Today's Callie Hubbard joins us live with what we know so far. Good morning, Callie.
Good morning, Lisa and Jordan. It was a really active scene here early this morning at the 400 block of 19th Street South here in Moorhead. We're right in front of the Tasty Freeze, as you can see behind me. I got off the phone with Moorhead Police a few hours ago. They say they have some inconsistencies to work out, as what started as a call for a robbery turned into a disturbance this morning. And although police are saying the disturbance has no affiliation with the Tasty Freeze behind me, they say that they're trying to figure out what happened, as they got an inconsistent statement from a caller. Right now, authorities say no one is in custody, there's no threat to the public, and they're not looking for anyone at this time. Moorhead Police says that they'll have more information later on this morning, so make sure you download your Valley News Live app as more information comes in.
All right, Callie Hubbard reporting live. Thank you. New this morning, a 6-year-old boy was airlifted to a hospital following a lawnmower accident over the weekend. Clay County Sheriff's deputies responded to the call just before 8:30 Saturday night.
They say the boy hurt his leg. A GoFundMe account has been created to support the family with medical bills. We have a link to the page on our VNL News app. Also new this morning, a Moorhead man is hurt after crashing his motorcycle in Clay County. The State Patrol says 22-year-old Sean Christensen lost control of his bike at a ramp.
It happened as he was going from Highway 10 to Highway 336 near Glendon last night around 6. Troopers say Christensen is not seriously hurt.
It's 9 minutes before 7 o'clock. Let's get a check of that First Alert Storm Team forecast.
Good morning. Things are looking up for us today. We are no longer talking about big storms coming our way or that intense heat that we had last week, but still keeping around some really nice summertime weather. Here's a look outside around the region. Fargo nice and golden with that sunrise. East Grand Forks looking off to the river, and across the river to Grand Forks you can see that we've got that beautiful sunshine, and Lake Park looks great. So does War Road at the moment. That's one area I'm going to be keeping an eye out for some showers developing this afternoon. And that's it. Not necessarily looking at thunder showers even with that, but still you might have a sprinkle or two coming up. The rest of us nice and quiet. Temperatures into the 50s and 60s this morning at 61 in Fargo. Grand Forks at 61. Dew points are down, which this is that critical number we keep an eye on in the summertime for that muggy feel, and the lower the dew points the better. So getting in the 50s, it does feel a lot more comfortable out there here for us in the valley. Radar and satellite map looking good now. We've got a lot of places reporting mostly sunny skies. There have been a few sprinkles out to the west, as you see there, but overall we've been mainly quiet with wind speeds that are on the light side. We're looking at winds up to 10 miles per hour. So here's your forecast for today. I think today's a great day to be out at the pool. You can take a dip, but you're not going to necessarily need to be in the pool all day long to stay cool. We're looking at temperatures that are still nice and warm, 70s to some low 80s, a high of 82 in Fargo. Again, just watch out for a shower northeast into that Lake of the Woods area. A little breezy too, wind out of the northwest at 10 to 30 miles per hour. Your 7-day planner, lots of sun and dry weather coming up for this week, so we can all just relax a little bit. Although it's going to be getting warm as we head toward midweek and later week, we're going to see some mid to upper 80s. And Friday will be our next chance for some storms. It looks like right now Friday night. So several days of some quiet weather coming up for us here in the forecast. Let's check in now with Devin Fry for the Valley Today. It's traffic on the move.
Thanks, Lisa. We're finishing up our morning drive for this hour on this beautiful Monday morning on I-29. We're heading south on I-29. Now, you can see over in the northbound lane, things are a little bit busier than what we're experiencing over here. That does tend to be the case in the morning, but do keep in mind that it is looking a little bit busier here on the southbound lanes than what we normally experience at this time of the day. So it looks about even going both directions here on I-29, which is pretty rare. Normally, the northbound lanes, it's much more lopsided out here on the roadways, and it might look like that as we get closer and closer to that road work up ahead here. But overall, the traffic flow has been moving nicely despite crowding up fairly quickly this morning. When we first got out here on the roadways at 6 o'clock, things were looking pretty light, but they've been building up pretty consistently since then. So just be prepared for some crowded roadways out there. You shouldn't really be facing any delays as long as you avoid road work, and it should be a fairly decent morning commute for you. Just be on the lookout for some of our long-standing roadwork projects there, as well as the couple new ones that we mentioned earlier in the newscast. We're going to keep checking out these roadways in the next hour on the Fargo CW, but for right now, for your traffic on the move, I'm Devin Fry.
A North Dakota martial arts instructor accused of inappropriately touching a student and shooting video in a locker room has now been sentenced to probation after reaching a plea deal with prosecutors. 24-year-old Adler Shear pleaded guilty to promoting obscenity to minors in exchange of charges of sexual assault and surreptitious intrusion being dismissed.
He also won't have to register as a sex offender. He was charged after a student at a Bismarck martial arts studio found a cell phone in a changing room. Civil rights leader and U.S. Congressman John Lewis crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama one final time Sunday. A horse-drawn hearse retraced the route of the 1965 march through the city, ending at the bridge where Lewis and other civil rights activists were beaten by state troopers on what is now known as Bloody Sunday.
Lewis suffered a fractured skull and was hospitalized that day. Following yesterday's procession, Lewis' body was brought to the Alabama Capitol to lie in repose. A private funeral will take place on Thursday in Georgia at Atlanta's historic Ebenezer Baptist Church. People from the FM area gathered at Fargo City Hall last night for the fourth march in Fargo since George Floyd's death at the hands of Minneapolis police. Nearly 100 people marched from Fargo City Hall to the Fargo Police Department, sharing stories from across the state.
The message? Keeping those in power accountable, including Fargo Mayor Tim Mahoney and Fargo Police Chief David Todd. Protesters also asked for Chief Todd to step down ahead of his resignation planned for the end of the month. The chief was criticized after releasing a heavily redacted email discussing the actions of former Deputy Chief Todd Osmondson.
Because at the end of the day, if all of our money, all of our tax dollars are going here, how are they serving us if Chief Todd is in office? So I'm going to ask y'all one more time. Why are we tired when you should be fired?
Mayor Tim Mahoney released a statement following the march saying the city of Fargo remains fully committed to community dialogue and subsequent action and is hopeful community organizers accept a standing invitation to restart meetings with city representatives.
Rowlett County in northern North Dakota is running 2 more COVID-19 testing events this week. There's one from 5 to 7 tonight and another Wednesday morning from 10 to noon.
Both testing are taking place in front of the Public Health Office in Rolla. North Dakota is confirming 141 new COVID-19 cases. There are now 1,025 active cases in the state. That's the highest number of cases to date. There are no additional deaths being reported. 99 total deaths have been linked to COVID-19 in North Dakota. Families in Minnesota are waiting for this. The 2020 back-to-school plan for fall semester is due this week.
Governor Tim Walz is expected to share his plan on Thursday. People are waiting to see if kids will be back in the classroom or continuing their distance learning at home, or if the plan is a mix of the two. Minnesota is reporting 871 new cases of COVID-19, one of the largest spikes since May. There are also 3 new deaths ranging in people from ages in their 70s to their 90s. The death toll in Minnesota is now at 1,574. More than 44,000 people are listed as recovered. Fisheries have been stocking fish in North Dakota for more than a century, but there's never been more fish and lakes being stocked than there are today. State officials say they were stocking 50 to 60 walleye lakes back in the 1980s.
But this year it's going to be more than 180 lakes and a record number of 12 million fingerlings. Walleye, they're the most popular fish species for anglers to catch in North Dakota, but there are other fish species that are stocked as well. After more than a decade, the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa Indian Tribe's buffalo herd has been returned to the Buffalo Park on the reservation. The herd had to be relocated to an alternate field north of the reservation because of overgrazing concerns and a noxious weed that would have been dangerous for their health.
Now, different members of the herd will be phased in and out of the park to avoid overgrazing again. You can see the buffalo off of Highway 5 as you drive toward Belcourt. Let's get our answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. Here's today's question. A survey found that 60% of people who have one of these in their car don't use it?
The answer is a CD player. And just in case you're wondering, some new cars, they don't even have CD players in them anymore.
I still have a CD player in my car.
I still do, and I have a CD in it right now, so I don't feel too bad. They're a good way to listen to music. Anyway, the Today Show and CBS This Morning, it's just about to start, but the Valley Today, it rolls on. We'll have more live up-to-the-minute news and weather coming up right now on the Fargo CW.
And that includes, following breaking news, we'll have a live report on a disturbance that happened in Moorhead overnight. Stay with us, and also get the very latest by using our VNL News app anytime.